What if I told you that the richest people in the world aren't just lucky, that the 1% who control almost everything we see, touch, and consume play by a very different set of rules? They don't think like the rest. They don't invest like the rest. And they certainly don't live like the rest. The truth is this: the rich aren't just born rich. They're built. And today, we're going to break down why 1% of people control 99% of the world's wealth. And more importantly, how you can start applying the very same rules to change your financial future forever. We've all heard people say, "Oh, they were just lucky. They were born into the right family. They just had the right connections." But here's the uncomfortable truth. Luck plays a much smaller role than you think. Take Warren Buffett, born in Omaha, Nebraska, far from Wall Street. As a kid, he sold chewing gum and Coca-Cola bottles door to door. No billionaire family, no Wall Street internship, or Oprah Winfrey. Born in poverty in rural Mississippi, raised by a single teenage mother. By all odds, she should have been a statistic. Instead, she became one of the richest women on earth. So what separates them? Not luck, not privilege, but rules of thinking the average person never learns. The biggest gap between the rich and everyone else isn't money. It's mindset. The 99% think about earning. The 1% think about building. The 99% say, "How can I make money this month?" The 1% ask, "How can I build something that keeps making money forever?" The average person works for income. The rich create systems that generate income, whether they're awake, asleep, or on vacation. Take Jeff Bezos. While most were happy earning salaries, he built Amazon into a machine that sells 24/7 in every corner of the world. This is the first rule of the 1%. Stop trading time for money. Start creating systems, assets, and ownership. Here's a shocking fact. If you put $1,000 into the stock market in 1980 and left it untouched in the S&P 500, today it would be worth over $100,000. That's the power of investments. But most people don't invest. They spend. They buy liabilities, things that take money out of their pocket. Cars, gadgets, fashion. The rich buy assets, things that put money into their pocket. Stocks, businesses, real estate. For example, Mark Zuckerberg's wealth doesn't come from his salary at Facebook. It comes from owning shares in the company. Elon Musk doesn't collect a paycheck. He holds stock in Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink. The wealthiest people don't rely on income. They rely on ownership. And the average person can do the same, even with $100, even with $10. Because investing isn't about how much you start with. It's about how early you start. Albert Einstein once called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. And he was right. Here's how it works. Imagine you invest $500 a month at an average return of 10%. In just 10 years, you have around $100,000. But in 30 years, over $1 million. That's the magic of compounding. Money grows on top of money. Interest builds interest. And this is exactly why the rich get richer. They let time and compounding do the heavy lifting. Meanwhile, the average person spends the same $500 a month on a new phone, fast food, or streaming subscriptions. And at the end of 30 years, they have nothing. The lesson? Compounding works for you or against you. If you invest, it grows you rich. If you borrow, debt grows you broke. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The wealthy don't just make money differently. They protect it differently. They use laws, loopholes, and systems the average person ignores. They leverage tax codes to pay less. They use debt as a tool to buy assets. They create corporations that separate personal income from business income. For example, Donald Trump famously said, "I don't pay taxes, and that makes me smart." Why? Because he used real estate depreciation, tax incentives, and loopholes to reduce his liability. Meanwhile, the average worker gets a paycheck, pays income tax immediately, and spends what's left. The rich? They earn, invest, deduct, then pay tax last. It's not cheating. It's the rules of the system. Rules anyone can learn, if they choose to. But here's the most important part. Wealth isn't built in your wallet. It's built in your mind. Fear keeps most people poor. Fear of losing, fear of looking stupid, fear of taking risks. The rich see failure differently. To them, failure is tuition. It's the cost of learning the game. Think about Thomas Edison. 10,000 failed attempts before the light bulb worked. Did he fail? Or did he just buy 10,000 lessons? The poor avoid pain. The rich embrace it because they know growth lives on the other side of discomfort. So, how can you start applying these rules right now? Shift your mindset. Stop asking, how can I earn more? Start asking, how can I own more? Start small investments. Use apps or brokerages to buy stocks, ETFs, or even fractional shares. Don't wait until you have enough. Start now. Leverage compound growth. Automate your savings and investments. Let time do the heavy lifting. Learn the rules of money. Read about taxes, corporations, and business structures. Knowledge of money is more powerful than money itself. Invest in skills. Every wealthy person you admire started with skills, communication, negotiation, leadership, sales. These compound just like money. The truth is simple. The rich aren't just lucky. They're just playing a different game. While the 99% trade time for money, the 1% build systems. While the 99% spend, the 1% invest. While the 99% let fear control them, the 1% let vision guide them. And here's the final secret. This isn't a game reserved for the elite. The gap between the rich and the poor is not just growing, it's exploding. In 2023, the richest 1% of the world own more than 45% of global wealth, while the bottom 50% shared barely 1%. But why does this happen? Part of it is historical. Inheritance. Early access to capital and land ownership allowed the rich to compound wealth across generations. But the other part is strategy. Wealth isn't just about money. It's about leverage, leveraging time, knowledge, networks, and systems. The poor work for money. The rich make money work for them. The first secret the 1% use is assets. Most people confuse income with wealth. A high-paying job does not make you rich. True wealth comes from owning assets. Things that make money while you sleep. Stocks, bonds, real estate, businesses. These are not just investments. They are systems that generate passive income. Consider Jeff Bezos. Amazon started as a simple online bookstore. Today, it's a global empire that earns billions even when he sleeps. Or Warren Buffett, who turned investing into an art. Every dollar he invested didn't just sit there. It multiplied year after year, decade after decade. The 1% understand one truth. Money compounds faster when it works for you, not the other way around. It's not only about money, it's about thinking differently. The rich think long-term. While most focus on monthly bills or immediate gratification, the 1% plan decades ahead. Take Elon Musk. He risked everything to build Tesla and SpaceX, thinking 10, 20 years into the future. While most people are satisfied with a paycheck, the wealthy are satisfied with progress, building systems, networks, and influence that multiply over time. Another difference? Risk tolerance. The 1% aren't reckless. They calculate, prepare, and act boldly when opportunity arises. And they read. Most billionaires read at least an hour a day. Knowledge compounds, just like money. Another reason the rich stay rich is systems, legal, financial, and political. The 1% leverage tax codes, offshore accounts, and investment strategies to protect and grow wealth. Consider corporations. They pay far lower effective tax rates than employees. Or inheritance laws that allow billionaires to pass wealth without massive taxation. And influence. The wealthy shape policies that protect their assets. Lobbying, political donations, and strategic investments in industries give them an edge the average person rarely sees. This isn't unfair, it's strategic. The wealthy play the game differently, and the rules were often written to benefit them. Money alone doesn't create the 1%. Relationships do. The rich surround themselves with other wealthy, ambitious, and influential people. Networking isn't about exchanging business cards. It's about access to deals, opportunities, and information that others will never see. Consider venture capital. Early investors in companies like Google or Facebook weren't just lucky. They were connected. They had access. Your network can make or break your wealth-building journey. The more influential people you know, the more opportunities you can seize. Here's where it gets deeper. The wealthy see money differently. For most, money is finite. For the 1%, money is infinite. It's a tool, not a goal. They embrace failure as a stepping stone. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, pivot, and grow. Jeff Bezos failed multiple times before Amazon became the giant it is today. And they think in terms of systems, not transactions. Owning a business? That's not about one sale. It's about creating a machine that generates value for decades. You don't need to be born into wealth to think like the 1%. Here's what you can do. Invest in assets, stocks, businesses, or real estate. Let money work for you. Think long-term, delay gratification. Plan years ahead, not just months. Expand your knowledge, read, learn, and adapt constantly. Build networks. Surround yourself with ambitious and successful people. Leverage systems. Use legal, financial, and technological tools to multiply your impact. Adopt the 1% mindset. See money as a tool, failure as feedback, and opportunity as everywhere. The gap between the 1% and the 99% isn't just money. It's knowledge, strategy, and action. And now that you know their secrets, you can start closing that gap too. The world's wealth may seem unfair, but it's also a map. Follow the strategies of the 1%, and you can carve your own path to financial freedom. Remember, wealth isn't a lottery. It's a system, and systems can be learned,